Now we go on to the company performance. In parallel with that process, HR, finance, and the CEO will look at the company performance and look at the market situation. How much are the other companies going to increase the salaries this year? What is the inflation? How much result, money did we make this year? I mean, if we made a huge losses, we are not going to give billions in salary increments. How much is the other companies paying? Where do we want to position? Do we want to be a little bit lower than them or higher, etc.? These parameters will lead us to make a decision on an increment variable. This increment variable will change every year based on this assessment. Every year there is going to be a different increment variable for here. So that this year, for instance, based on that analysis, we decide that rating 3 will give 4% increment. Rating 5 will give 6% increment, and so on, and same for the bonus. Again, to try to balance, have equity and lessen the dependence on if your boss is tough or a soft guy. So every year, this increment variable will be different, but the process will be the same. When you get the email with the web address, you log on there and you will come to a page where you have a list of names. Those are the names that are supposed to report to you, and that's why you need to assess them. When you click on that name, you will come to the very, very simple assessment form. Extremely, sillily simple. We will make it a little bit more advanced in the years to come. But now I want you to practice on the idea of these 3 parameters. The first one is competence. Now, we will create a competence model so that each position will have an association to a competence set and requirements. We are not there yet. It will take some time. So this year, the only thing I ask you to do is to think about the person you are assessing and tell yourself, is this person having adequate competence for the position he's supposed to work in? Yes or no? And assess it from 1 to 5. The next one is performance, the ongoing accountabilities. Did he meet your expectations? Yes or no? 1 to 5. And then the line of sight, the goal fulfillment. Did he meet your expectations or the goals? Yes or no? 1 to 5. Now, the problem here is that we didn't have any goals. So we can't really assess against anything. That's why it's so important that in January, when the new template comes, you must set 5 goals to everybody. So this year, the only thing I ask you to do is to imagine what were your expectations of this person this year. Did he meet them, yes or no? 1 to 5. Now, if you rate a 1, I want a justification. If you rate a 5, I want a justification. Once you've done these 3, I want you to summarize them, use them as a help to put an overall rating 1 to 5. This is the number I will use when we continue with the process for calibration. Yes.
But there is no weights for each of the parameters.
No weights on anything this year.
So it will become a little bit also subjective.
Yes, absolutely. I will show about the rating soon because I have an explanation what is 5 and what is 5. What is 1 and what is 5. So that will help you a little bit. But I'm sorry, this year it's very, very simple. I just need you to practice on this for the coming years. Now, for the competence, for instance, I'm working with the julphar manager profile, a document clearly written and documented, showing how should a julphar manager look in our particular development phase we are today. I'm tailor-making a julphar manager profile for us. Next year assessment, you will use that to assess all the managers. Now that julphar manager profile, it will have three different parts. One is the attributes of a manager, one is the leadership skills, and one is the manager skills. It's 15 competencies in total. Each of our leaders will next year be assessed against those 5 or those 15. And that will affect your bonus, by the way, and your increments. So I'm going to hit you in the wallet. You need to show that you match the julphar manager profile and the requirements we have of julphar managers. Later on, I will introduce an employee satisfaction survey. I'm going to put that also, and I'm going to hit you in the wallet. If your employees hate you, you're not going to get any bonus. That's a little bit exaggerated, but the idea behind is that I'm going to start following you. And there is going to be standards, what you need to live up to, and if you don't, I'm going to hit you in the wallet. Now, it's about leadership. My specialty happens to be leadership. I will create several leadership courses the coming years, and I will help you increase your capability in being a manager. That's my job. And then I will assess you against it and reward you or not against that. Now, this one, if you have any special cases that you insist on doing something special, you tick here and you put a justification. Now, I'm telling you already now that don't bother use this if you don't have a damn good justification. So don't bother. However, I want to put a little bit flexibility in here. If you have special cases and you have a good justification, we will consider it. Okay? So this is a simple assessment form. And we start with this here. Now, when we come to this one, and here comes a very important point. Now, we need to try to get away of this soft or tough guy, because it's not your fault who your manager happens to be. We need to try to keep the fairness. That's why I have an explanation of what the grades are, and I want to go into a little bit more detail in it. I think the expectations in julphar in general are way too high. So that's the first task here. Grab the expectations, bring them down to more realistic level. I think we have 2,500 employees who think they are Superman. And that's statistically impossible. We can't have 2,500 Supermen. How many Supermen is in Metropolis? Superman is living in Metropolis. How many Supermen is there? How many Supermen lives in Metropolis? One! There is one Superman in Metropolis. There is not 100, 175, there is one. Yes.
The problem in this Superman feeling, the feeling with objectives, just in your last slide, some people put very low objectives and get achievement 150%, 100%.
It's managing expectations.
Objectives, not objectives.
Expectations.
Objectives. For example, Bank Iraq is setting very large objectives.
Yeah.
To reach, to get growth and very big figures, get high market share.
Yeah.
Other maybe myself, I put very low objectives, and my manager accepted, for example. And when it comes to practice, he will not be able to achieve his objectives, and I will be Superman.
Yeah.
So
No, I know.
We put standards and need for objectives for accepting. This also applies for different countries. Some countries agree and accept the challenges, put very aggressive
Yeah, I know, and that is an issue we need to deal with, right?
All the things and figures.
Yeah.
People, objectives, it's not only figures and things,
Yeah.
it's one word.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, no, okay, I agree fully, and I'm sorry, we can't have a perfect system the first time. I'm sorry, it's not possible. Now, what is missing here, the input to the performance management is the strategic planning process, right? The input to the performance management process is the strategic planning process. We don't really have a structured process for that today, and the budget process. Now, we will be working with that, definitely, and we will create some kind of mechanism so that we get a more, a fair sense and structured approach to the strategic planning. And that will be used as an input to the performance management. So I'm very much aware about it, but we can't fix everything now.
If you force superman,
Yeah.
you won't use any superman, you need the force one.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah, no, I know.
won't be shown at all.
Yeah.
The drone will be not achieved.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and we will attack that issue also. It's just that we can't attack all issues at once.
Yes, sure.
Now, how many Supermen is there in julphar? How many Supermen is there in julphar? Now, I don't think so. Here again, your job is to manage expectations. If your people think that they are a Superman and they are not Superman, then you haven't been a leader that you should be. That's why we pay your salary. We pay your salary to be the leader, to keep the expectations where they belong. Your job is to manage expectations.